We charging niggas extra. We charging niggas extra.
Exactly. Let's go to the meet. Hey, boys! We're going to the fucking
Dirty stick, I hit a lick out of Uber. Side that Scooby, Lord, that boy be a shooter. Say the wrong thing, all my niggas that do you go crazy, but cats all my niggas are shooting.
Boom! It's your boy Bo Master Baby, and if you ain't rocking with Benny on the daily, you
Judge your family, Benny Bogues, Bo Master Baby. Back with another ass video. Early morning, it's like 1 o'clock over here. So I'm gonna just do a chill one. It's like some gang cartel type of gangs of France or something like that. Viewer discretion be advised when the content to lower your eyes if you do the minds, if you do the spies.
Marseille, in the south of France. A city shaken by gang wars. The violence spiked in the summer of 2021 when 15 people were murdered. The city's lucrative drug trade was the most common motive for the violence. Up to 15 million euros are exchanged for narcotics here every month. Gangs fighting for their share in brutal turf wars. The imminent release of several gang leaders from prison in 2021 sent shockwaves through the city's dark side.
Oh, them boys, run!
We were allowed to follow members of the Marseille police, the anti-narcotics office, and the BST, a special unit created to restore order in specific areas.
You almost tripped up.
And even local drug dealers were willing to show us their world.
One colleague was shot, another killed. That's the risk.
The conflict is claiming more and more lives, including many innocent victims.
She died for nothing. For nothing.
What's driving this spiral of violence? And can the police stop it? Marseille. This port city on the Mediterranean is known for its cultural life and savoir-vivre, but it's also the murder capital of France and a hotspot for drugs and crime.
You would never know.
Officers heading out on patrol on the city's north side. Michael and Laurent belong to the Specialized Field Police Brigade, the BST, and are responsible for the city's infamous 14th district. They hope to catch drug dealers red-handed.
Yo, I don't take a lot of vacations. And when I do, y'all gotta
are far from
stick with me, cause I
There's the lookout. You can
can't
often
be
spot
going
him from
places
the
in the
roundabout.
motherfucker.
The shirtless guy, you see him? He's sitting in front of the first small building.
They've just headed out when they get a call and change their plans.
The OJ.
Un individu qui tirait une arme de poing. Le seul signalement qu'on a, c'est qu'il avait une casquette et un gilet orange.
We have to go. Where's Lamartine? Isn't that where the game is?
Witnesses have reported a shooting near a stadium during a soccer game.
As soon as they get in the car.
Shots have apparently been fired at the Martine Stadium in the 15th district. We'll head over there to support our colleagues.
Smoke becomes visible as they approach. A car is on fire. Criminals often set fire to their getaway vehicles.
They torched their car.
They were quick.
A burning car, shots fired, suspects on the run. All the hallmarks of a revenge killing.
Quit that boy at the game lacking.
Onlookers have already gathered outside the stadium.
Are we the first ones?
What?
The fire department and ambulances are already on scene, but no other officers.
We really are the first ones. No, it's okay.
The victim is mortally wounded. Relatives show up and tensions flare. The situation could escalate.
Boy, mad, that's they peoples.
We turn off our cameras to avoid provocation.
Shots were apparently fired at spectators during the match. One is dead, and we're waiting to see if there are more.
Kill that boy. Or that girl.
Il y a 2 victimes, un qui est décédé, l'autre qui est vivante, qui a pris 2 balles au visage.
The area around the stadium was cleared later that night. Time for the forensic experts to get to work.
Later that night.
They searched the crime scenes for traces of blood, gunshot residue,
See, I ain't
and
gonna
DNA,
lie.
in hopes of finding clues about the shooter's
In
identity.
the US, they would have did it right then and there. Everybody leave now.
The then director of Marseille's criminal police, Eric Arela,
They're
arrives
not
on
finna
scene.
catch nobody.
2 people have been shot with firearms.
The police reconstruct the events. 3 armed individuals got out of a sports car at 5 p.m. They approached a man who was leaving the stadium with a friend and shot him several times point blank. A meticulously planned crime.
They waited for that, but
The method points to a revenge killing, probably with several perpetrators. We're waiting to hear more from forensics. It may be related, but it's still too early to say for sure.
The forensic team works until dawn.
he waited for that, boy.
Michael and Laurent discuss the case the next morning.
Y'all not finna catch nobody.
Do we know the guy?
Yes, he's known, but
Usually it's simple. It's about debt or revenge. In general, when someone is killed in Marseille, it's never random.
The number of revenge killings had been falling, but police now fear a resurgence of rival gang wars.
tensions are running high in the neighborhoods between the gangs. There are different wars that are completely unrelated, and things are shifting. There are lots of armed individuals, lots of weapon seizures. I think this summer is going to be a bit more complicated in terms of settling accounts. Stuff's going to happen.
He turned out to be right. Marseille experienced an unprecedented number of shootings over the following days.
Y'all look at him as a suspect.
Les Hirondelles. On July 5th, 2021, a man was killed with a Kalashnikov
Big
in
AK.
this neighborhood.
Bah, bah.
The next day, a 28-year-old was shot while driving his car. On the 24th of July, a 26-year-old man was murdered in a housing estate in front of dozens of witnesses. The reprisals kept mounting. Control in the neighborhoods as well as huge sums were both at stake. We want to see for ourselves how these criminal networks function.
And that gangster music going.
Bassens, a housing estate built in the 1960s, lies in the heart of the northern districts. Past its prime, it's considered a hotbed for drug dealing and gang warfare. Nearly 2,000 people live in the estate's dozen apartment blocks. Over half of the young adults are unemployed. The local youth spend their days dealing and hanging out. They agreed to show us around. Brahim was born here. This abandoned school was his playground growing up. Asbestos contamination means it's been deserted for 30 years. Brahim says he also feels abandoned by the state.
in my school, man.
These are the stairs. As you can see, they're ruined. They could collapse under a kid. That's not normal. Why did the state abandon it and leave it like this? It makes me angry. You grow up somewhere, walk out your door, and this is what you see. It's annoying.
Ça vous énerve, sérieusement.
But desolate buildings aren't this neighborhood's only problem.
Check this out. The price is still on these bags. This one held drugs worth 2,500 euros.
2500 euros de stupéfiants dans ce sac.
This housing estate, like many others in Marseille, is now in the hands of a drug gang. Waste containers are placed at checkpoints.
Man. They got the city looking bad.
They're to keep police and people with bad intentions out.
What kind of people?
Anyone who's a threat to the neighborhood.
The trash?
The police aren't welcome, and rival gangs even less so. The drug trade here is structured like a pyramid. The lookouts are at the bottom, like this 15-year-old high school dropout, who has worked here for 5 months. He tells his bosses who comes and goes.
We shout aha when the police come.
What does ara mean?
It means police are coming. We shout aha to warn dealers not to sell anymore and to hide their stash until they leave.
That's that
Lookouts
LT.
work in shifts, just like in factories.
10 a.m. to midnight or 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's up to you. Then you take your pay and come back the next day.
What's the pay?
120 euros for a shift, 60 euros for part-time. It depends on the neighborhood.
You're full-time?
Yeah, 10 a.m. to midnight.
Damn.
His co-worker at the other end of the estate isn't much older. The markings on this post are used to identify police cars.
These are the license plate numbers. We also know the models of cars the police drive, or we recognize their faces. Most often it's their faces.
Couldn't they be customers?
Sure, that's why if we're not sure someone's a customer, we ask them to lift their t-shirt, because sometimes the police conduct raids on foot.
He has to do his job well.
That's the risk. It's my job. And
Sorry, I keep yawning. Like I said, it's like 1 in the morning. Watch dead, no battery, everything going dead.
Miss one, I'll get beaten up, stabbed, or owe money.
Workers have to pay for their mistakes.
One colleague was shot, another killed. That's the risk.
Is it worth it?
If you're our age, Arab or black, and from the 14th arrondissement, it's this or nothing. Our mothers can't even cover the 300 to 400 euros a month for rent. They can't support us. We have to do it on our own.
The gangs exploit the poverty of the young people here. A warning has been sounded that cops are on their way. The dealer heads inside with a bag full of drugs and cash.
That was loud as fuck.
The dealer is also at risk. If he's caught, he'll not only be sent to prison, he'll also owe restitution to the gang. Today, he's lucky it was just a normal police patrol. The signal tells the dealer he can head out again. He keeps a small stash of drugs in this mailbox. He replenishes it every 30 minutes. If he's arrested, he can limit his losses.
This is hash, weed, and that's coke. They're 30, 50, and 10-gram pieces.
What do you earn a day?
200, 300 euros?
Is 300 worth the risk?
Sure, I have kids, a family, but no other work. What else can I do?
See?
I leave each morning and come back at night, like with a real job.
Back to business. Customers are already waiting. The manager, the gang leader's trusted representative, is never far away. He keeps a watchful eye on his team.
It's simple. You tell them to stand in such and such a place and keep a lookout for police. After that, put the dealer in place and the one who supplies him, plus whoever cuts the drugs and the one who fetches the product. It's a business. Everyone has a role to play.
An illegal business that he runs with an iron fist. He collects the cash hourly.
From how many hours?
This is just from a few clients, around 100 euros. It goes fast.
Drugs are estimated to bring in up to 20,000 euros a day at this one site alone.
Give me 10. I brought you 50 before, okay?
He manages both the drug trade and the weapons needed to fight off rival gangs.
If all goes well and people do their job properly, normally there's no shooting at all.
You don't need to arm yourselves.
No, though you need security because you never know. Always keep something ready in case of attack. We're just here to defend ourselves, defend our business. We're businessmen.
You hear that, buddy?
Can you show me?
Show you what?
Your protection.
No, I can't. You never know.
The dealers in the northern neighborhoods arm themselves to protect their business.
You don't know that. Don't even say that.
But where do they get their weapons?
What weapons?
We worked for several days and finally found a man who calls himself an arms dealer. He agreed to meet with us. We set up a meeting a week later.
What the fuck?
We didn't meet in the northern districts as expected. We met in the city center, in a quiet residential area.
But I ain't around all that wild shit.
This is his hideout. His bestseller?
This is a Galil. It looks like a Kalashnikov, but it's Israeli. A 5.56 caliber like the FAMAS. It's worth 4,000 euros at the moment.
Weapons prices skyrocketed after the murders.
I do anything that brings in money. My name is Shakal.
His code name means jackal.
Alright, we're gonna end it right there with jackal, man. We're gonna end it right there. I was gonna do 20. I'm gonna do 17. Easier to edit, so then as soon as we jump back, we get straight into jackal. JG family. Billy Blogs. PLP. Peace. Love. Bust.
On this corner, stack it 20s and 50s. No pillow talking to these hoes, cause they gon' tell all your business. Don't want the space in your business. And now when you told me go out and get it. Ain't no shit cussed up on this corner, stack your 20s and 50s. No pillow talking to these hoes, cause they gon' tell all your business.